Okay, guys, welcome to the Cosmic Starseed Academy. This is the Saturday groups. I'm rushing through the intro because Nicholas and Christy Clark are sharing some really important things. So today's date is the 31st of January 2026, and it is 8:15 here now in Ireland. I'm Soma Ara, and this evening we've got Christy, Nicholas, Dia, Amira, Chris, Dennis, Francesca, and Seth. And come join us. You can come and subscribe to my Substack or sign up to my all the info's on my website, somaara.love. If you go to the Cosmic Starseed Academy page, you'll see all the info there. And please go ahead. I don't know who wants to. Christy, do you want to start? Or Nicholas, whoever?
It's an interesting topic, and the rabbit hole is quite deep. But I think we're on the same page because we understand that we are beings of light and we have come in from another realm to have the experience, the human experience. And the human experience is quite interesting on many levels. Besides really where we are at this time regarding the situation on Earth, but on an individual basis, as Nicholas just pointed out, we are unique in many ways. And there's no such thing as death. That is just another illusion that has been fed to us by the players in this realm. We just move on to have the experience elsewhere. But while we're here, we can make the difference. And that's up to each individual how that plays out because they are the director of their reality and it's happening right now. So what do you want to manifest right now in present? So removing the mind is sometimes difficult. Removing the circuit is sometimes difficult. But you can't find that realm if you tap into the word called awareness and realizing that you are an aspect of source and you have come into this reality for the shift. And you've had this experience on many occasions in other realms. This is not your fourth time. Um, you've had the experience. It's one of the reasons why you chose to come back in. So we're here and it's playing out and we're realizing at this stage that it's getting really, really interesting. So what I suggest and what I've said in the past is sit back and get the popcorn out because it's going to get really, really interesting as it plays out for each one of us on an individual level, on a spiritual level. So our connection with the star family and the Palladians was mentioned here earlier on. There's many, many races involved in this ascension. And Nicholas was right. If we don't shift, they don't shift. We all have to shift together.
Yeah.
So it's about trying to understand, understand what? That we're actually living in an illusion. Yes, you might understand that, but the majority of the collective as we speak now is watching Sky News.
Yeah, but I have I call this a drill, and the drill is we're just training for something that will happen in the future. Like if you're a soldier, you have to train before you go into battle. You don't send untrained soldiers into battle, right? You have drills before, and this is a drill for each and every one of us. So we will take on the real job later somewhere else, but this is just a drill. And what we're drilling in, it's what it's our purpose here, what we burn for, what we really want to do. Some people they want to make computer coding. Other people, they want to paint. That's what they're going to do in the real fight. This is just a drill.
I just want to add something that they have said in the channeling that, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do that sometimes because I feel it is important to say stuff. But they said before, and they said it recently as well, that the Pleiadians have said that we've been preparing lifetimes to be here now.
Yes, I agree with that, Dharma, but if I was really honest with myself and the people that's listening to that, nothing has changed but my attitude. Therefore, everything has changed. And that's just my view of what I tap into. When we use the word consciousness, what is consciousness? How do you break consciousness down? So as I said recently, we are always trying to find the present moment because the mind is always distracted with irrational thoughts. And that's not directed to anybody in the room. But as I said, the majority of the collective is now playing with the remote control and watching Sky News.
What do you think the solution is, Christy?
The solution is going back within. And I mean, we've discussed this in the past. And what you are aware of is in your control. But what you're not aware of is controlling you. And that's quite clear to me when I look around me and I see really how this realm is playing out and I see who's involved in it. And we touched on it earlier on in the conversation. Everything in this reality is designed for a reason. You know, so we don't have to fear the unknown. I think we have the fear. I think the fear is giving up the knowing, really, like letting go, really, of the knowing and realizing that I have to go back to the child mind state and do the system restore. As I say, changing the SIM card and going back to the innocence. Sometimes that's difficult because change is really difficult for people. And I say that from experience. It's my line of work. I'll do anything you want me to do, but don't ask me to change because that's really difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have your perspective, and I have my perspective. I have my perspective to be able to be happy in this crazy situation, and it really helps me. I believe I'm in a drill for some major battle in the future, and whatever I learn here, I will bring to that real battle.
But here's the thing, guys. Both of you are right.
So you've prepared yourself for the battle, Nicholas. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing every day. I'm trying to.
So you're telling me that there's a battle coming in your direction at some time in your reality in this lifetime?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a drill. I mean, this lifetime is the drill. But when I leave my body, I will go into the real battle that I've trained for in this lifetime.
Okay, I'll just respond to that, and I'm going to go quiet then. It doesn't actually have to be a drill, and it doesn't actually have to be a battle. If you go back to your child mind state, okay, back to that innocence when you were a child, pure, unconditional love, until you were contaminated, not just by the drill or the possibility of preparing for a drill. As soon as that word is mentioned, for me, I say, well, okay, what is the drill going to be? Are they preparing me for something? Now, the idea of moving outside of this existence into another realm is where we're all going, because this is just on loan. It's called the body. That's all. It's on loan. consciousness is what we're talking about here. And we will leave this body and we will go back to source. And we will have the life review and we will look about the experience that we've had on Earth and how it played out for each individual. That is why most of us decide to come back in, because we haven't fulfilled the contract in some shape or form. So it's all about graduation. We're moving up the layers. The life that we've had prior to this will continue when we leave this realm. But I think for me, really, the system got a hold of me and they gave me the drill in my head. Maybe because I was listening or reading the Notre Dame content as a child, and I went, oh my God, where are we going in this realm, in this reality? And then I realized throughout my life that I was having contact with extraterrestrial beings from another realm. So that was the game changer. Like us all.
Yeah, but so my sort of my perspective is that you have your perspective and you live happily along your perspective, and I have another perspective and I live happily along my perspective. It's just
wonderful.
And I have the soldier idea that you train for a battle. You don't have to go into that battle, but you train for it. You're prepared to go into a battle. So I'm happy because I'm able to prepare for a battle. And then people say, well, oh, there's no such thing as time. Everything is parallel and what have you. I don't care. I just train for it, okay? It's just a drill for me.
Okay. That's interesting.
I don't see how, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I think both of you, I don't think your views are mutually exclusive. I think they're both true. I can actually totally relate to Nicholas, even though I've never been anywhere close to a soldier. I'm a violin player and a preschool teacher, but I've felt like I am also, prepping, doing my prep work to be able to, yeah, focus energy where it's needed here and after, what they're calling the shift to higher dimensions. And I reckon that, well, they say that at that time, we will have the choice to stay on Earth in our, kind of in our new Earth and work doing what we are really good at, or we can rejoin our soul origin in the Pleiades or something to that extent to do, again, like probably really similar work. Like I'm studying to, focus energy and just be well. And I work with kids. I'll probably do that as my higher self, like as a part of what we're calling the battle, against darkness. Maybe it's just that the awareness of the battle, and then deciding that yes, I'm in this, and I am peace, and I am love and light. Maybe that's the biggest battle move that we can make. But I try to avoid like the news and the dark. Like I went through periods of trying to be in the know about everything and follow all the corruption and chemtrails and everything, which I'm still fascinated with. But yeah, it can drag you down. I feel guilty sometimes avoiding all of that stuff. People will tell you, how can you not watch the news? There's so much crazy shit going on right now. And it's like, that's not my battle. Like literally, that's not my battle to fight. I know it doesn't represent me. What I am is just trying to be a better mover of positive love energy. But it's sort of related to what you guys are talking about, I think, but maybe my own personal tangent. But I hear you both for sure.
Yeah, me too. And Dia has her hand up, and then Joe has his hand up as well after Dia. So Dia, please go ahead.
Perfect timing, because I wanted to follow up with what Seth was saying about like not feeling that it's following the news right now is your battle. And that's also on the tail end of what we've been talking about the last 2 weeks with the chemtrails and do we go protest? So this past week, I just got annoyed 2 days ago. I'm looking out the window early in the morning and chemtrails are just across the skies. So I decided to call my Florida governor and say I'm fed up because he said he was going to fine each airplane $10,000, which I'm sure they could easily pay off anyway, even if they were fined. But anyway, I called. It was a quick call, and the young guy answered, and he said, yes, we track this information. And he said, funny, we're getting a lot more calls today overall, but they do get calls every day. And he directed me to another number to call, which was, I think it was called the weather modification. Some other words followed it. And so I called that number then, and it was a recording. So I left my name, phone number, and the date and time of when I'd seen the trails. And I haven't heard back, but they also have a website you can go to and fill out a form there. Anyway, that was my bit of protest. So then I took that information and I texted all my friends in Florida to do the same. And yeah, Amira, I counted 17 or 18 trails yesterday at one point. So I messaged all my friends in Florida to please call these phone numbers. And one of my friends texted me back and said, well, it's part of military defense, actually, that they are spraying the sky so that missiles can be detected. And this came from, and I'm going to say his name, 107. And so I was really kind of surprised by that. And I said, well, that doesn't, maybe it's part, she almost shaking her head. No, I was just wondering if part of it could be utilized that way. I don't know. I mean, obviously people are using it nefariously.
Hell no, dear. Like, hell no. I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, I don't either, but I just like to look at things again and just see, is it possible that they are somebody might be using them a little bit for that purpose, but obviously there's a bigger hand at play, definitely manipulating the weather. I did also want to read something. I wrote it down for myself, and then I thought it'd be great to share here. I was watching Honey C. Golden, who had on this woman, Rachel, yesterday. I forgot her name, her last name. She just reminds me of a fairy. Anyway, she was saying a lot of things aren't really real. So that's going back to what Christy was saying before about the illusion. And that resonates with me. Anyway, okay, I'll read it. A lot of things aren't really real, especially things we have no control over. So what's the point on worrying? Especially worrying about things in the future, that creates narcissism, because then you want to start controlling everything because you have fear of it. That really kind of stopped me in my tracks. Worrying about things in the future creates narcissism because you want to start controlling everything because you have fear of it. And going into depression about it is not being able to accept it. And then the last thing was that we can attract beauty. So that's going along with what Nicholas was saying. We can attract beauty. And it's just, we have to make notes for ourselves or whatever to hold that there so that if we start to spiral, just come back to that. Yes, I don't have to follow that. I can just come back to myself and focus on what I want in the future. That's what I'm doing anyway.
I thank you for sharing, Tia. I think I saw that post, and it felt good to me as well. And I also wanted to say that I try and find a balance of, and not being on either side so much, but I try and find a balance. And I don't mean the side of the dark and light. I mean the side of being aware of what's going on and holding my energy internally and stepping into my heart and still being aware of what's going on a bigger scale, on a larger expanded awareness, and yet still be positive and hold my energy and have a positive outlook and really hold my energy within that and yet still be aware. So in that sense, I try and find the balance somewhere within myself of being aware of all the negative stuff that's going on, and not even just on the earth, but as Christy was saying, in the universe, and just holding my energy within that space. So yeah. So I don't know. Joe, do you want to go next?
Thank you for that response, Soma.
It's very difficult because you're either, people are normal people are so consumed by uh, and even myself, sometimes I can get fixated on certain current events, whether they be in the past, now, or in the future, and sometimes I think to myself, oh my God, what are they doing? But then I have to come back to some kind of balance internally. And when I was on Holy Island, it was great training for me because it was a little island, a little Buddhist island in the middle of nowhere. And we had very little internet and nothing else in terms of technology. And there was no traffic, there was no cars, there was no shops, there was no nothing. Everything was delivered via boat. And that was great training for me to realize that there actually is very little outside of myself that is important. But even saying that, that's a truth, that's an aspect. But then there's the other aspect of, well, it does matter because on a higher level, we are in a spiritual war, and that does matter. So anyway, there's different. There's no, there's no one right way. There's no one right perspective or perception. There's several aspects and factors and scenarios and situations that are at play, and all the systems, all the powers that be, like the chemtrail. Sorry, Christy touched on it earlier when he was saying that the systems are communicating with each other. All the systems that that govern this planet are talking to each other, communicating with each other, especially behind the scenes, and calling each other at night and saying, well, this is happening and that's happening. The pharmaceutical companies and the governments and all the systems on Earth are in communication with each other. Anyway, Joe, is Joe still there? Is he gone? I think he's gone. Anyway, I'm going to let someone else speak. Dennis, do you want to have an input on this? There you are.
Yep. Yeah, I respect Nicholas's view because he understands that we are consciousness, that we are part of a source, immortal beings, and here we are in this realm, which is very transient. It passes very quickly in the space of the cosmos. But as consciousness, as divine consciousness, which we are, which comes into a physical space and comes into a biological, electrochemical body, we come into this structure, be it a simulation or a game or a learning place. And the important thing is there is the now. And Nicholas is committed to the now. He's, and when you look at source, there is a oneness. And when you bring all of space into a oneness, it comes to here. And when you bring all of time into a oneness and a singularity, it comes to now. And there's Nicholas is engaged with the here and the now and doing his best with it. And that's just bloody brilliant. And it makes no difference what you call it, whether you call it a drill or a simulation or a game or ascension. You can call it different names. But the important thing is to be engaged with it to your best ability. And again, Nicholas is right. I always agree with Christy, but I'm just saying with Nicholas is like after this short period of time of a few decades or whatever, or maybe it's sooner, and now you're not in a body or you're not in this realm, well, you still exist. You're still you. You mightn't have the name Dennis or Christy or Dia, but you are you, and you're still in a now, in the only now, and you're still involved in contributing to life, and you're still contributing to expanding love and knowledge and bringing order, and that's why Christie's friend Renturis can come and speak to us, who's not in the physical realm. So, like, here we are in this now, and we will always have the opportunity in whatever now we are to expand ourselves and to untangle things and help others. That sounds a bit meandering, but that's just a comment on that.
No, I resonate with that. I resonate with that. Would now be a good time for a break? Yeah. Okay. Okay, welcome back, guys. We were taking a little coffee break there. And over to you, Dennis. Dennis will begin with the prayers.
Okay. I will begin with the simple prayer called the Law of One prayer. I will say it and repeat it a few times. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done. It is so. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done. It is so. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, with Mother and Father God, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done. It is so. And to share a short I am mantra or affirmation. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. As always, we are delighted to be here with you. This evening, we come in with an energy of, every week, we come in with a different energy of some sort. This week, we come in with the energy of freedom, the opposite of slavery, that you are stepping into freedom. You are doing well, although it may feel to some, including Soma, that it is just taking forever. And that was more from Soma than us, and some of you will have heard the change of voice. It is interesting in the way she channels, or the way we channel through her can be different at times, at different times. We do this intentionally to give her an educational experience with the channeling, and it also gives her the ability to channel in different ways. And within that, sometimes she can be very deep in the channel, and sometimes just very gently on the edge of us. But even when she is not channeling, she is channeling unknowingly. Unknowingly, we use that word loosely. So we were talking about the energy of freedom. Humanity's freedom is what is occurring and is what is at stake. This is what is playing out. The freedom of your planet, the freedom of humanity, the freedom of you. That is why you, as starseeds, are here on your planet, is to free the rest of humanity who have been enslaved into corporations, into what Soma would, thank you, call the matrix. You are divine beings, you are divine sparks, you are source or God itself, having an infinite experience. You were sent here, you chose to come here to planet Earth, or Plan ET. Plan ET or planet, human ET or humanity. ridicule us or ridiculous. There's such a play on your language. It is so obvious that it goes unnoticed. Freedom is coming. We've said before that, or let us add, regarding the freedom, there have been many groups on your planet, groups of people that have been enslaved. Such as the Black people in America. We use this as an example. Of course, it is not the only group of people that have been enslaved. The Irish were also enslaved. There have been groups of people enslaved on your planet. But we would say that all of humanity is enslaved, which is why the starseeds are on your planet now, to unslave, to bring freedom. To reverse, thank you, to reverse some of the mistakes we made and others like us who were duped, as you were at the time of Atlantis. Most of the starseeds were at the time of Atlantis and Lemuria, those beings that lived at that time in Lemuria and in Atlantis were starseeds, were cosmic beings, having a very high vibrational life on Earth, life on your planet. We've said before many times that Atlantis was invaded by a negative ET energy, and that it is a parallel timeline. And now you get to change things. We were listening to Christy earlier, who we have enjoyed visiting. Whether he is aware of this or not. The freedom on your planet is coming. There's no doubt within our minds or awareness or experience of that. It cannot be any other way. It cannot be any other way. There are too many beings out there in the great cosmic, in the great universe. There are too many beings that it would affect if it were not the case. This time you do get to ascend. This time you make better choices. This time you understand that this planet is Soma would use the word ruined. We would use the word descended. And now you are ascending. Again, this is a pattern of evolution where you ascend and descend and ascend and descend. And the same is true for all living beings on your planet and everywhere else. It is a rhythmical pattern of ascending and descending. Even the universe collapses and expands, collapses and expands, collapses to nothing and expands to everything. You are at a pinpoint on a graph that is ascending. And we will not allow the destruction of your planet as other planets and stars and even suns and moons were destroyed in devastating impact previously in history. Some of these were intentional, occurring during what you call wars, what we also would call wars, battles of different species in the universe. And some may be very close to your proximity of Earth, and some may be vast distances. We've said before, quite recently, that Mars was inhabited and still is, thank you, as is the moon, still with life on it or underground, mostly. So much has been kept hidden from you. It pains Soma. It makes her emotional when she thinks of, when she feels into the energy of everything that you've been lied to in every direction. Some of it she understands is unbelievable and does sound crazy to normal people, such as giants and even Tartaria, and fairies and elves and goblins and nature, even nature spirits. And what lays beneath your feet, and Antarctica and chemtrails. You've been so lied to and disillusioned on such a mass scale that the reality, the true reality and nature of your past is the complete opposite of what you were taught in your school systems, which is one of the main reasons we kept her out of the school system, to benefit her, to keep the connection with us. She would have been lost to us had she gone into that school system. And we made it very clear, very absolute, that we would not allow her into the secondary school educational system. She was too important, is the wrong word, but we will use that for now. But even that came at a cost. When we have no need to share that publicly or go into the emotion that's arising within this physical body of hers right now. This battle, this war, it comes with a cost to many of you, to so many of you. There is the cost of course, there is the cost of targeting. Just so many of you. So many of you, your physical bodies have suffered and are still continuing to suffer, whether it's through technology or remote viewers. Let us pause there and allow you to ask questions. We will pause there.
So I was saying that I'm so excited to hear their message today, that they're bringing in the energy of freedom. I was like, woohoo! Because we've been wanting this for so long. And even they said, Soma feels like, oh, it's taking forever. And I'm sure a lot of us agree it's been taking forever, feels like it's been taking forever. And one thing Soma asked me to repeat is that things are getting crazier. And we've been told this for some times, that as we get closer to the end, it's just going to get freaking crazier. So if you feel like it's getting crazier, remind yourself, we're getting close to the end.
Yes, I think that also means that more people will be waking up to the truth, and it's going to be messy and get crazier, but that's where the light steps up to balance everything. And yeah, once we get to a certain, that's why they can't say when exactly is, I mean, they don't want to say if they know, but I also think they don't know because it's on such an individual level, like of development, and our collective is based on all of our individualities. Everybody's going through the stuff that they're going through in order to be able to manifest and hold this energy, the light. Yeah, they can't interfere any more than they already do, I guess.
Yeah. It's funny. Oh, go ahead, Soma.
I'm sorry. They did say in 2019, and it was just a personal message, or actually, I'm not sure if it was, but I think they did say it on an interview with Ted Ma, but they said during a live channeling, they said that, and this was in 2019, I think it was just before COVID, or maybe it was after that, I'm not sure. But anyway, they did say that it must have been after, because otherwise I wouldn't have bothered getting online in the way that I have. I would just be living, in the forest somewhere very quietly by myself. But thankfully I met Dennis. But the thing that they said was that the next 10, 20, and 30 years are going to be extremely important, like off the scale important. And that was in 2019. So yeah, I'll put myself. So I just wanted to share that. Dennis, you got anything to say as well?
No.
Can I say something? I'm getting more and more pissed, annoyed, tired of the system. I'm tired of people being homeless. I'm tired. No human being should go without. I mean, I was always aware, but for some reason now I am so angry at the system. I am so angry. I can't stand it anymore. What's going on? Like, I can't stand the system. I can't stand
That is great.
grief.
That is great that
I
you're
I
angry,
can't stand. I am very, Soma.
but
I'm
you
so
need
angry.
to.
I see it every day, and I don't know. I get
Okay,
angry
hold
about it.
on.
Sorry.
Stop. That
Okay.
is great. But are you just looping with that anger? Use that anger, use that righteous anger to do some focus the anger and do something about it. You are in charge.
What could I do? I'd love to put it into something.
That is for
Absolutely.
you. That is for you to answer. That I can't answer that for you.
Okay, thank you, honey.
You should be angry. And this is also for people listening in the future. You should be angry. Everyone should be angry about a lot of things, not just homeless people, which is horrendous. You know, this planet is so abundant, so abundant. But you should, and I don't mean just you, Amira. I'm speaking to people in general. You should be angry. You should be angry about a whole lot of things, not just anger that goes nowhere and just loops as an emotion, but use that anger to create change, to create positivity. You should be angry about child abuse. You should be angry about human trafficking, about all kinds of things, the Satanic Church. Get angry and use that anger as a powerful force to create change.
I definitely will. I actually have a plan. I actually have a plan what I'm gonna do when the weather gets a lot warmer. So I have a plan. Thank you, love.
Something as simple as a smile to a homeless person or can make a huge change. It's the simple things that can really make a change. I know that I've been homeless before, and
When I was back home in California before I moved to Buffalo, you know, I lived on my own for a bit and I lived for a couple of years. So there was homeless people back then. This was 2008, 9. There was a lot of homeless people around, but I befriended quite a few of them. But there was this one lady, she was like old, and some other people, I would get them food or clothes, whatever. Like I befriend homeless, and I still do because I don't look at them any different. So yeah, I befriended them absolutely, and I smile and I help cancer patients. I do the most I can right now.
I think what's really something that's coming to mind that's really important here is that homelessness used to be highly regarded as people having addictions and then losing their homes because of the addiction and being on the streets. And that is no longer the case. There are families with children and people, even sometimes people that are working, sleeping in their cars, and that's occurring in Dublin and all over the world. So it's no longer the case that it's homeless people who are just addicts. Yes, of course, some of them are, and some of them do have mental health problems. But there's also the family with kids. There's also the couples with kids that are sleeping in their cars. There's also young female single mums that are homeless. So it's no longer the case. And that is largely to do with the negative agenda upping their game, as Christy was saying earlier. I believe. Christy, you've got a lovely smile. What? Dennis, did you want to say something? Oh, I'm going to put myself on mute.
Nicholas has his hand up.
Okay.
Yeah, I found the hand, but I don't know how to remove it. Maybe I'll do it later. Okay. So what is so fantastic nowadays that we know what is good and we know what is bad. And when I was young, I didn't know the difference. What action was good and what was bad? Was it good to kill a fly or was it bad? I mean, I didn't know. And I took the bones of a fly when I was, like 7 years old or whatever. Now I know life is good, death is bad, truth is good, lies are bad. Um, it's so easy to know what's good and what's bad nowadays, and then just do good things. It's so easy. It's like it's like going in the first class. You know every piece of math already because you've done it 1,000 times. It's so fantastic to be alive now because we
But
know.
some people don't know what is bad. Like
I do.
I know you do. I know.
I
But
have to live my
I,
life.
I watch people sometimes and I think, what the fuck are you doing?
You're right. It's crazy. But
I'm sorry.
yeah, but everyone is responsible for his or her sort of experience. I mean, I happen to do it, and I live it, and it works. So what should I say? It works for me.
Christy, go ahead.
I'm really happy that Nicholas has chose to be happy. And I think when you find that place within yourself, nothing can take it away from you, even the outside world. We can get caught in the headlights, we can get caught in the beams on the motorway, and we can get distracted, not just by our own thoughts, but by life, relationships, friendships, and everything that goes with it. So I think realizing that you don't have to be a victim, really, because when you become a victim, really, yes, you need to take action. And a lot of the time, the action we take is really something that's outside of ourselves. And realizing that really, that I'm creating my reality now in this conversation, it's happening now for me. And I chose now not to give the remote control to somebody else to control my volume or my emotional state. And that's a lot of the times what we do. We give the power to somebody outside of ourselves to control how we feel. Happens all the time. And sometimes we don't even notice it. And that's why I continue to say isolation sometimes is the place to be, because people sometimes are really complex, and they can be difficult to be around because their idea and their views of what they see as life sometimes doesn't sit well with me, and that's not a judgment, it's their reality and it's what they chose to create. So it's important that we go off and we do the homework, and we do the push-ups, really. Some of us might have a bit of cleaning up to do, the sort of way, and we get our shop and our garden in order. We can move forward, with the support of God and with the support of the angelic realm and with the support of the extraterrestrials that are supporting Earth at this time. Mm.
Christy, Christy, would you like to do a channeling?
Um,
or do you want to leave it?
No, we'll arrange it again. I'll channel on the next session. Yeah,
Okay,
because
love.
I've just had food and that, so I'm sort of not
Yeah, me
ready
too.
to.
Okay. Okay.
Soma, one thing, I just thought of it now. Anytime you want me to do my light language, any podcast, I mean, any like meetings that we're having now or any of your lives, I'm more than happy to do that.
Thank you, Amira. I was going to say to you and Christy, maybe tomorrow on the Sunday group.
Okay. Yeah. What
Um,
did you feel? How's my light language been helping you?
I love it when you do your light language. I resonate with it. I was pretty amazed and surprised when I first heard you doing the light language. I watched a video of you doing it, and I'm just delighted that you've got that ability. And I know, but I also know that we don't all resonate with the same people. That there's lots of people that don't resonate with my channeling and what I'm doing, and that's okay, But what's more important is that we do resonate with some people. So yeah, I resonate with what you're doing. Okay, guys, I think I am going to make some pizza and add some nice things to it. If you would like to come and join these groups, check out my website, somaara.love. That's where you can find the details on the Cosmic Starseed Academy page. And you can also subscribe to Substack for the Wednesday groups, which is specifically for people who've subscribed to Substack, which is €7 a month. And what else do I need to say? We're having these groups again tomorrow, the Pleiadian Sunday School tomorrow, and I find it fascinating. I find it really interesting that each group has a very different energy. I truly flummoxed by that in a very good way, how they can come in with such a different energy, not just on a Saturday group, but also within each group. There's such a different energy. And perhaps perhaps the Sunday group, it's more of a Lyran energy that comes in, or not more of a Lyran energy, but I definitely feel that the Sunday group has more of a Lyran presence with me. It feels more of a gentle kind of lion cub energy, and I do channel, I do connect to the Lyrans very much, and I'm a Pleiadian stroke Lyran hybrid. I'm sure there's other DNA in there as well, galactic DNA, but those are the ones that I'm very aware of. And it was only in 2019 or 2020 that I became aware of the Lyran hybrid within me. I was doing an interview with Veronica Bartolini, and Susan Long was there, and she picked up on it, and she said in the live interview, she let me know about it. She told me about the Lyran, which I wasn't aware of within myself before that. So it's interesting how things unfold and continue to unfold for me, and it's interesting how I can step into or be pushed or drawn, sucked into different energies sometimes, and then come out of them very quickly. I'm very good at doing that. Thank God. Yeah. So if there's nothing else, guys, I'm going to go and make some pizza. And these groups, I am really wanting to create physical groups where we do get together. And that seems to be coming into the fruition. So it feels like I'm being very much guided, um, and I know things are in the pipeline, for a few of you that are here and myself, where we will be organizing events or groups this year in 2026. And I'm very much looking forward to that, I can tell you, because since at least 2019, I stopped doing, because of the current events at the time, the world events, the bullshit that was taking place on the earth. I stopped doing physical events. So, and I really got online and started doing a lot of stuff on, everything was online, became online. So like everyone else, like the majority of people, I came online, and that has a lot of benefits, but it also, has a lot of negative stuff to it as well. So I'm very much looking forward to having more of a physical presence, in Ireland and other places as well, possibly. So yeah, so you can message me about that if you're interested, whether you're in Ireland or wherever you are. And there's something very special about um, having the physical presence or being in the physical space with other people. There's also a specialness about doing things online, but I think there's something extra special when you're in a group of people. And yeah, so I don't think I've got anything else to say. Dennis, will you do a closing prayer?
I was just going to add, that's why they wanted us 6 feet apart.
Exactly. Yeah, that was, a lot of people had no idea, but that was, I think they spoke about this recently over the last couple of weeks. I remember something they were saying that and of course I do know this, because they shared it a long time ago, around the time actually, but they were saying that when you have, that was done deliberately by the negative agenda, because of what they were doing to people at the time, but also they wanted to put that in place because if people came together in large groups or even small groups at the time, it would have woken them up. So there was a deliberate reason that they did that, to stop their people's awakening. Yeah. Dennis, please, will you do some prayers or something?
Okay.
Oh, you will? Thank you. That's surprising.
Yes. Well,
Lovely.
it will be very simple. So we give thanks. We give thanks for this now. We give thanks for this experience. We give thanks for life. We give thanks for living. We give thanks for the challenges which present invitations. We give thanks to this group and the individuals who make it, and have us ask questions and come to our own answers. We give thanks to Soma, even though she's late so often. We give thanks to the Pleiadians. We give thanks for what is to come. There you are.
Thank you, darling. That was beautifully said. Okay, I'm going to go and have some pizza.
Okay.
Okay, see you tomorrow, love and light.
I'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Take
Bye,
care.
all.
Thanks so much.
Take
Bye.
care,
Bye,
folks.
everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye, all. Have a good day.